Hey there, welcome back to Fallout 1. This is a bit of a bonus episode. I want to make a character creation guide for anyone who was interested in playing the game for themselves, so here it is. It'll go over pre-made characters, both the ones that the game gives you and ones that I've created, as well as just general stats for making your own character. So, in terms of what the game gives you, you have three options: Max Stone, Natalia, and Albert. Don't take these three. They've all sort of got flaws to them. Max Stone has the Bruiser trait, Natalia has Night Person, and Albert, I mean, he's okay, but the main fun of these games is making your own character, so I'd recommend creating your own, though you can modify these if you want. This is a lot of information to digest at once, I'll be perfectly honest, so I'll go over things slowly but surely by their own category, and from there, that should help you out. First off, your name, your age, and your gender. These are largely inconsequential. Girls they technically have more options than guys when it comes to who they can talk to, that sort of thing, but it's minuscule enough that it should barely matter. Finally, on to the big stuff, your special stats. These are the backbone of your character, and you're going to want to choose them wisely. So, starting with strength. It determines carrying stuff and using weapons well. Since it can be increased in the game, more than 6, probably overdoing it. Your perception, it's good for ranged weapons, but it isn't extremely necessary. Start with at least 5 for the awareness perk. Maybe a little higher, like 6 or at max 7. Your endurance, it mostly dictates your hit points, honestly, as well as radiation resistance and poison resistance. So you might want to put it at certain levels. It depends on whether or not you're going to be doing close range combat, but it's still good to have. Your charisma is the universal dump stat. You don't need to have this one very high at all. It affects bartering and talking, but that's it. Honestly, charisma of 3, maybe 2, is perfectly viable for a game. Intelligence, it is very important. It dictates skill growth and options when chatting. Having about 7 to 8 should be good. Your agility, it determines sequence and AP, so it's quite important. So, I'd recommend putting it maybe around 6, 7, at max 8. And your luck, it highly depends on your playstyle. Above 6 is a pretty decent luck score, but it depends on your playstyle, abusing gambling and such. So you have a lot of points, and you can spread them out however you want, between 1 and 10, but all your points have to be spent. How do you get more? Traits. They have positive and negative effects, and you can choose up to 2. You can also choose 1, or none at all if you'd prefer. There's a lot here, so I'll just go over ones that might be good when it comes to specific builds, or just fun in general. Small frame. You get some extra agility, but you can't carry nearly as much. If you have NPCs, they have infinite capacity, so it shouldn't matter too much. So I'd recommend going for this one. One-handed, normally this is a really crappy skill since all the good weapons are two-handed, but if you're going for something like a melee-heavy playstyle, then I think this would work out pretty well since that's all one-handed. Jinxed is offset by high luck, since it basically just means everyone gets more critical failures in combat. So, it might be good for a joke run. Finesse. It's got an okay trade-off, especially if you're going for a luck-based character or a crit-heavy character. Plus, the way that the reduced damage works is it adds resistance to foes, which gets completely bypassed by crits. So, again, crit-heavy playstyle, no downsides. Good-natured. This one, essentially, your combat skills start at lower levels, but you're more But your more passive, but your first aid, doctor, speech, and barter, those are substantially improved. For an attack or stealth heavy character, this one's not all too great, but for someone who's more passive, I'd seriously recommend this. Fast shot is abysmal for sniper characters, but I mean, if you're looking to be a legend, firing several times in one turn, that's a pretty good skill to have. Gifted, universally considered the best skill in the entire game, the best trait, sorry. The main downside with your skills is completely offset by high intelligence, and all the extra points you get, they can be redistributed anywhere, so I would seriously recommend this one. It's a really good trait to have. You basically need a reason not to take it. Skills. Tagging certain skills gives you some extra items. I believe Doctor gives you a first aid kit, and Lockpick gives you a spare lockpick tool, for example. There are some skills more than others than you should tag. For example, small guns and energy weapons, combat heavy, you should definitely go for these. Big guns only apply to miniguns, rocket launchers, and flamethrowers, and you skip over those kind of quick, so these are the two I'd recommend going for if you're on a bit of a attack heavy playstyle. Lockpick? Always take this one. There's a lot of locks to pick in Fallout, so you should probably go for this one. Doctor, it's good for quick heals on the go and restoring crippled limbs. And you get a first aid kit if you choose it, as I mentioned, so it's a decent skill to take. Science and repair, those are just good in general to tag. For places like the military base and the glow, not crucial, but if you got a spare point or two, I recommend going for it. Speech, another one you should usually tag, since, you know, when you're a good person, people like you more. When you talk well, you know, makes people like you. So I'd recommend going for that one. This is one I unfortunately cannot visualize since it's not on the character creation menu. But I should go over perks real quick. Certain ones are better than others. So some of the best are, for example, awareness. It is extremely useful since you can analyze opponents. Probably should be your first perk. Action Boy / Action Girl gives you +1 AP during a turn. Good for firing off multiple shots, so I'd recommend it. Bonus rate of fire. You combine this one with fast shot, and it is downright absurd. Firing off several attacks per turn is always nice. Better criticals? Better criticals. Crits are nice since they bypass armor, and having a way to make them better, that's always going to be welcome. Silent running. It isn't necessarily useful per se in terms of gameplay, but it does speed things up a bit if you're doing a fast playthrough, so I'd still recommend it. Slayer, all hand-to-hand attacks are crits. So, if you're going for a hand-to-hand character, spamming Power Fist or something, dear God, take this one. It's gonna make you extremely powerful. Those are some of the better perks you may want to choose. And finally, while it is fun to create your own character, if you're looking for some preset builds, there are a couple that I do have. First is a bit of an easier character focused on combat. It's not wrong to make things a little bit easy. You don't gotta prove yourself to everyone, and if you're worried about what the waste will do to you, then this one would be good. Your special stats should be at 4, 7, 5, 3, 7, 8, 6. Choose the gifted and fast shot traits, and your skills should tag your skills should choose energy weapons, lockpick, and speech. Finally, is just a straight up combat based one. If you want to go head to head with your foes, this one's for you. Your special stats should be at 8, 8, 7, 1, 4, 7, 5. Just like gifted and heavy handed, big guns, energy weapons, and unarmed should be your first picks. Sneaky is good for a stealth build. It's a build I've created especially for stealth. Messing with traps too. 3, 7, 4, 4, 8, 9, 5. Select finesse and small frame, along with lockpick, sneak, and repair. Diplomacy, like, if you're not into fighting, here's another build for you. It's good for talking down the master, talking your way out of opponents, that sort of thing. 4, 6, 3, 7, 8, 7, 5. Good nature and skilled. Speech, lockpick, and repair for your skills. And finally is a meme build. Don't pick this, I'm begging you. 3, 3, 10, 1, 4, 9, 10. Jinxed and bloody mess. Lockpick, science, and barter. That's going to be a bit of a challenge. Anyhow, I hope this helped out. Once again, well, those are some options for you in terms of creating a character. I'd say going with what you think is fun is arguably the best way to go about things. So, I'm going to leave things off from here. Thank you so much for watching this Fallout series. It's been a real journey to make some videos on games I like, and just play them for everyone. So, thank you for watching this series, and I hope you have a great day. See you around.